You think being emotional makes you human. You think feeling everything deeply is a virtue. That is exactly why people keep getting inside your head, because the world does not reward emotional men. It exploits them. Today, I am going to give you 4 dark secrets that strip emotion of its control over you, not by suppressing it, not by pretending you do not feel, but by turning emotion into something you command. These are not motivational quotes. These are psychological switches, and once they flip, life feels unfair in your favor. If that sounds dangerous, good. It is supposed to. Let's begin. Secret 1. Emotional distance is a position of power. Here is the lie you were sold. If you care deeply, people will respect you. Reality is colder. The person who cares less controls the frame. Watch any high-level negotiation, any breakup, any power struggle. The calm one always wins. Emotionless does not mean numb, it means distant by choice. In my 15 years observing men in boardrooms and back alleys, I once watched 2 men compete for the same promotion. One worked hard, but needed validation. He talked about how much the job meant to him. He stressed. He over-explained. The other did his work silently. No emotional attachment, no visible need. Guess who got the job? Not because he was better, because he was harder to read. When people cannot measure how much you care, they cannot manipulate you. This is why characters from the movie Fight Club resonate so deeply. Tyler Durden was not powerful because he was chaotic. He was powerful because he was unattached. Here is the rule. Never reveal emotional urgency. Want someone. Do not show hunger. Want an outcome. Do not cling to it. Say less. Feel less outwardly. The moment you stop advertising how much something matters to you, leverage returns to your hands. Emotion kept private becomes armor. Over the years, I've seen this play out in countless rivalries. Men who held back their desperation rose while the eager ones crumbled under their own weight. Secret 2. Kill the need to be understood. This one cuts deep because it attacks the ego at its core. Most emotional pain comes from a single addiction, the need to be understood. You explain yourself, you justify your intentions, you defend your character as if you are on trial. Every time you do this, you quietly lower your status. Strong men are not understood, they are observed. Think about it carefully. The men you respect most do not over-explain themselves. They move with certainty. They decide without seeking approval. They accept consequences without begging for sympathy. The need for understanding is a child's instinct. It whispers, "Please see me, please validate me, please tell me I am right." But the world does not respond to that energy, it preys on it. There is a scene in Peaky Blinders where Tommy Shelby is accused of betrayal. He does not deny it, he does not explain. He lights a cigarette and stays silent. That silence does more damage than any argument ever could. Here is the psychological truth most people never grasp. The more you explain, the guiltier you appear. The calmer you remain, the more authority you project. Try this once. The next time someone misunderstands you on purpose, say nothing. Let them believe whatever story helps them sleep. Your nervous system will scream. Your ego will panic and beg you to speak. Ignore it. That discomfort is emotional withdrawal, and withdrawal always feels violent before it feels free. In my experience guiding men through personal collapse and rebuilding, this single shift has transformed anxious overthinkers into unshakable figures, their silence becoming a quiet force that ends conflicts without a single word. Secret 3. Train cold exposure to human behavior. People think emotional control is mental. It is not. It is neurological. Your body reacts before your thoughts do. That is why insults sting, rejection burns, disrespect triggers heat in your chest. You cannot think your way out of biology. You have to train it. Here is how. Expose yourself to emotional discomfort on purpose, not trauma. Pressure. I knew a guy who was terrified of being ignored. Left on red destroyed him. So he did something insane. He stopped replying immediately to everyone, friends, family, women he liked. At first, he felt anxious, restless, like he was losing control. 2 weeks later, something snapped. Silence stopped hurting. His nervous system learned a new baseline. No response did not equal danger anymore. This is the same principle used in combat training. Repeated exposure creates emotional immunity. Anime understands this better than self-help books. In Berserk, Guts does not become cold by choice. He becomes cold through repeated confrontation with pain. You do not become emotionless by avoiding discomfort. You become emotionless by surviving it repeatedly until it loses its power. Put yourself in situations where rejection is likely, where judgment exists, where outcomes are uncertain. Then do nothing. No self-soothing, no distractions. Let the feeling pass. Each time you do this, emotion weakens its grip. Drawing from 15 years in high-pressure environments, I've witnessed this training forge resilience in men who once shattered at minor slights, their hardened nerves now impervious to the chaos around them. Secret 4. Remove meaning from events. This is the most dangerous secret of all, because it cuts the root, not the symptom. Events do not hurt you. The meaning you assign to them does. Someone disrespects you, and anger ignites because you interpret it as a loss of status. Someone leaves, and pain floods in because you interpret it as proof of unworthiness. Emotion is not created by reality. It is created by interpretation. Change the meaning, and the emotion collapses almost instantly. A man once told me this after losing everything. His business failed. His marriage ended. Friends vanished without explanation. He looked calm when he said it. Nothing happened to me. Something happened around me. That sentence permanently changed how I see life. When you stop personalizing events, emotion loses its fuel and its narrative falls apart. This is why Stoic characters feel unbreakable. They do not deny pain. They deny interpretation. You were not rejected. Someone made a choice. You were not disrespected. Someone revealed their character. You were not abandoned. Someone removed themselves. Watch how emotion weakens the moment meaning shifts. Emotionless men do not suppress feelings. They starve them of stories. Through years spent advising men in quiet rooms after public collapses, I have seen this detachment turn devastating blows into neutral data, observed calmly, then discarded without damage. Here is what no one tells you. Becoming emotionless will cost you relationships. People who relied on your reactions will feel unsafe. People who controlled you emotionally will accuse you of changing. Good. That means it is working. Emotionless does not mean heartless. It means selective. You still feel, just not on command. You still care, just not compulsively. You decide when emotion enters your system. That is real masculinity. Not loud dominance, not aggression, control. The world pushes emotional chaos on men constantly. Outrage, fear, validation, hunger. The man who opts out becomes rare, and rarity creates power. If you apply even one of these secrets, life starts to feel quieter, calmer, sharper. People stop pushing your buttons because the buttons are gone. Remember this line: emotion is information, not instruction. Once you understand that, no one owns your inner world again, and that freedom feels illegal for a reason. If you want to learn more about dark psychology and human nature, hit like and subscribe. I'll see you soon.